Hello. I'm just checking to see if anybody's there. I'm just checking to see if I'm online. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to JMB's weekly workshop. I'm just going to see if anybody's online at the moment. Oh, Carol, hello, welcome. Let's see if there's anybody else online before I get started. It is 2 o'clock, but I'd like to give the ladies a chance to get online. I hope everybody is well and the weather's treating them good. Here it's a sunny day, but I believe in some areas it's quite cold. Let me see if there's anybody else. I can't seem to see anyone else. Oh, Helen, welcome. Can I just give it another minute or so and then I'll get started? Okay, so far we have Helen and Carol online. I'm not sure. Ladies, just to let you know, I cannot answer questions unless I see it. Otherwise, I'll answer any questions in the comments afterwards. Thank you. Okay, I think we can get started because I think there's quite a lot of people that watch the replay. Today we're going to make the pocket trifold with the waterfall. The papers I'm actually using is my own kit. It's called Whispers of Roses. Let me just get, I'm going to bring in, let me bring in my cutter first. Using an A4 size paper, you need to measure it out to 7 inches and you'll just cut the 1 1/4 inch off the bottom. So it'll be 8 1/4 across. You will cut 1 1/4 down off the long side because there seems to be differences. Thank you. I'm now going to score on the 11 1/2 inch size. I'm going to score at 3 7/8. That's just before the 4. And then I'm going to score at 7 3/4. So the score line just repeating it, is 3 7/8 and 7 3/4. That's our scoring done for this project. I'm just going to burnish the lines so it's nice and crisp. And on the other side as well. I see mine's catching slightly, so I'm just going to nip just a little bit off the end here. I don't want a lot, but I just want a nip it, just to give it a little bit of space. There we are. At this point, I'm also going to add the decorative paper. Again, I'm going to cut it at 7 inch. And I'm going to use this side of it. I usually do a 1/4 inch right round just to cut just to leave a bit of a white edging. Some of the ladies like to ink, they can ink now. Just nip that little. I'm not going to ink because I've started my projects. So I haven't inked the others, so I'm not going to start inking these. I'm going to just do let me glue this first, and then I'm going to do the pocket. There we are. And then I'm just going to do a little tab here. I normally just eyeball it, to be honest. There we are. And now I will actually seal the pocket. Are. Now we're going to move to the front, and all I've done is I've actually just turned the top section over, but try and get it nicely lined up. Into the corner if you can, as best you can, and keep it straight if possible as well, and then burnish. I'm now going to cut the little pockets. We've got a pocket 3 3/4 by 1.5 inch. Three and 3/4 by 1.5 inch. It's just a small pocket. On the bottom here. And I'm also going to just cut the fancy bits. We do 3 3 4 quarter. I'm just going to take it down a bit. Here. So you've got just a bit of a white border. Before I do that, I've measured out the piece already. It's 3 3/4 by 2.5 here. So I'm just going to cut it into the triangle. Try and get it exactly. I think I can just take a little bit off actually. So I'm just going to take a nipple off this end here. Just a slight bit. There we are, just gives it a bit more of a border. I hope you are all having a nice day today. It's been quite busy my side. There we are. Just to make sure all the glue bits are off. On second thoughts, I'm going to take a little bit more off the edge here, just to give it a little bit more of a border. Yeah. And I'm now going to glue my pocket in place. I can't wait to see all your journals once we've finished this project. It's going to be exciting to see what each of you have interpreted in your version. There we are. And I'm going to glue this pocket as well, just along the top, so that you can just add just a little pocket tab in here and there. I could have done a notch here, but I didn't worry. There we are. Because it's such a small pocket. Okay, we're going to get to the waterfall. The waterfall is 3.5 by 4 1/4 is the waterfall. So I'm going to swap between 2 pages. I'm going to use these two. So first of all, I need to cut the white pockets. So we need 4 of them. So it's 3.5 by 4 1/4. I've kept all my little bits of white card so that I can use it as we go along. 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. 2 and 3. I need to do one more. Let me just check. No, that won't be wide enough. Three and a half by 4 1/4. So you should have 4 of those. So I'm going to cut my fancy paper at 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Just let me double check, because I'm going to score a 1/4 over the page for gluing. So I think this one can be my top piece. So it's 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, I think I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it this way. 3 3/4 there. So that's the 2, and then I'm going to do 2 in the alternate pink. Once again, 3 3/4. Oh. 3 3/4. Math. And 3 3/4. So now you should have 4 white pieces and 4 decorative pieces. So I'm going to just bring in my mini scoreboard. And I'm just going to score just a 1/4 inch, just to give me a little bit of a hinge. Quarter inch. And 1/4 inch. And one more. I just want to burnish the folds nicely. I like to measure the first one at the top to make sure that it's straight. So I like to just bring in a little mini ruler to help me with that. Okay, I've got my 4 pieces. I'm just going to put the toppers on. Just give it a nice one. I think that's going to be my first one. There's going to be writing space at the back of them, so I'm not going to worry to put any fancy papers at the back. There we are. It's number 2. Number 3. Welcome Kim and Julie and Louise. I will repeat the measurements in a moment once I've completed this. So now we will start with the first one. So I just want to gives me a nice straight finish, equal sides. There is also another method where you can do a pull-up, which is also quite a nice waterfall to use. We can maybe do that next time. Third one. It's going slightly off. There we are. And then my last one. There's my last one going in. Oops. Slightly off there. There we are. So there is my waterfall. So you've got your writing space here, and you've got writing space here, and then you've got your pocket here and pocket here. I'm also going to put a pocket over here. So let me see. Just trying to get a big enough piece. This should be, that's 3 inch by 3 1/4. And I need a decorative piece. Okay, here I'm going to just use the plain quarter, so it's 3.5 by I've just forgotten my own measurements. 3/4 by 3. It seems very small. I can't believe I'm missing my own measurements up here. And I think it's my nerves. It's getting to me now. It just seemed so small. 3/4. There we are. Sometimes things just look different. There we are. So the correct measurement is 3 3/4 by 3, and then the inside is 3 by 2 3/4. And I've just need to do, I forgot almost to do the thumb notch. There we are, pocket. And now it's just to add a few more tabs in pockets and to decorate. I should say tags. I've got a lot of them pre-cut, so I'm just going to use just 1 or 2 that are colourful for the moment. So there's a pocket there. And a pocket there. And I've got a little bidly one somewhere that you can either tuck that one up there and put 1 or 2 bidly ones down here. And that is our tri-fold with a waterfall. Thank you very much for joining me. And Julie will be doing another video this afternoon. Please go and have a look at hers as well. And thank you. Have a great day further. Thank you, ladies. Bye-bye.